doing it for quite long time. What's the major important thing that you have seen that people lack in the sales coaching era?
Any founder you want to dilute your share must check if your mind is synchronized. And the second lesson I learned during that period is if the team if your
Where do you think this industry is heading, especially after you have seen the Shark Tank, and I think the entrepreneurial and startup spirit is coming into life again in Pakistan. So do you think
again very fine morning they just woke up and they said, oh, the startup is not for us, we need to wrap up the company. So this is the main issue that
relying
I
on freelance platforms, but that shift is very hard because on a freelance platform our customer is almost ready to buy that product because that's why they are there, they need that
AI
service.
basically help the SDR and BDRs to streamline their processes to make data-driven decisions. Okay, let's
Yep.
say you are using some tools. Let's say you set up work on your soft skills, because if you want to start the conversation with anyone, your soft skill matters a lot. And if your listeners are from the, you can say, the parents, so I must say, Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum, Talha, how are you?
Walaikum salam, I'm good. What about you?
I'm doing great. So Talha, can you introduce yourself for the audience? Tell us what have you been doing, and how have you been doing it.
Sure, perfect. Thank you so much. First of all, Guru, thank you so much for inviting me to your show. I saw a few episodes and you're doing amazing work. So
Thank you.
let me introduce myself. This is Talha Fakhar. I am a founder of two companies. It's 2BTech LLC and TF Business Solution. 2BTech LLC is basically a service-based company that we are providing some custom software development, product design, reputation management, and all that stuff. And if we talk about the TF Business Solution, so TF Business Solution is basically a consulting organization, and plus we're providing some fractional resources as well. Let's say if you want to start a tech company, so a tech company has four major pillars. That is technical expertise, marketing expertise, sales expertise, and human resource expertise. And we are providing all
Yep.
that resources. And
Awesome.
in my personal capacity, I'll do the one-to-one sales coaching to the founders who are just hustling with their B2B space. So yeah, that's
Yep.
how
That's good.
brief introduction.
That that's pretty awesome. So you mentioned that you provide the one-on-one sales coaching. So far in your career, like you have been doing it for quite long time. What's the major important thing that you have seen that people lack in the sales coaching era or side? Yeah.
Yeah. So as as you saw, many organizations based in Pakistan as well, they are based on freelance platforms. Let's say the Upwork and Fiverr and Freelancer.com.
Yeah.
They are growing on that freelance wing machine, but in the longer run the organization will not scale much due to this. If when very fine morning you just woke up and you saw, oh, the account is just terminated. So yeah,
Yeah.
what's the maybe you can say what's the issue behind it. So in that way you need to downsize or right size your team, because there's no work for yourself. So that's the main reason we'll be working on the B2B sales machine, because in the B2B sales you are doing all that stuff. Let's say the
Yeah.
prospecting. First of all, you are you can set up your ICP, ideal customer profile, and you can set up your own sales engine where you can use email marketing, LinkedIn, Twitter, well-found, and all other platforms as well. So yeah, that's the main thing that people is not rely on the B2B sales side, and they just when if again very fine morning they just woke up and they said, oh, the startup is not for us, we need to wrap up the company. So this is the main issue that I just realized founders are suffering from it.
Yeah, yeah, that makes a lot of sense as well. And yeah, I have seen a lot of agencies that have been, working solely on relying on, freelance platforms. But that shift is very hard because on a freelance platform, our customer is almost ready to buy that product because that's why they are there. They need that service. But when you are doing that, B2B sales, or if you are doing the cold outreach, it becomes very hard to convert the customer. But at the same time, it's very rewarding as well because it's a sales machine that keeps churning out the good ones. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense as well, and
But
that's
in
the
that
retainable business model.
Exactly, but in that way, as you saw, many agencies, the ticket size is currently somewhere around the $30,000 to $40,000 on when they are relying on the freelance platform. But if they are just start working as a side hustle, maybe you can say for the B2B sales machine, they can increase their ticket size, they can increase their market size, they can increase their services offerings.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense as well. And Talha, being in the tech space, tech was, I think tech was the sector that was mostly impacted by AI, obviously, So, how do you see that going forward? Because tech has been implemented, like AI has been implemented across the board, like, even software developers, they are using AI, and, others are using AI to, make their streamlining their processes. Do you see that, going forward, and how much change has your company brought in, or how much change have you seen in that space?
Basically, AI is helping the BDRs and SDRs plus software developers. Let's say if I talk about mainly I talk about the BDR and SDR because this question has been asked by me oftenly. So that's why I just want to ask on your platform. AI basically helps the SDR and BDRs to streamline their processes to make data-driven decisions. Okay, let's
Yep.
say you are using some tools. Let's say you set up your ICP, and the tool is running up and scrapped some leads. But based on the previous decisions, they saw that based on the 100 leads, there are 30 leads that are not based best fitting for my offerings and services, my ticket size. So they just remove that 30 leads from so that the data purification will be done. You don't need to set up a separate resource that can clarify the data, that can simply click in each and every link of the LinkedIn website of the prospect to saw what type of services they are offering and what is their average ticket size. That's why AI basically help us to smooth the process. AI basically built by the human for human. So this is the maybe you can say the best code I can say. AI help us. It will not
Yeah.
reduce our cost.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So, Tala, when did you get started in the industry? Because obviously, you have seen a lot of, highs, but where was your start, and, how did you get started into it?
Yeah, so I started this journey after my graduation. I do a small job, you can say, for 3 to 4 months, maybe. But I've been working as a freelancer back in 2017. So for the
Awesome.
last 2 years of my graduation, I've been working with my friend in a startup. So yeah, I got few experiences there because in the partnership side, I learned a lot that the partnership without the mind synchronization is not worthy. So I
Yeah.
learned a lot that thing, and the startup is not profitable, and they just close the doors. So one thing I
Yeah.
learned that if you want to partner up with any founder, or you want to dilute your share, must check if your mind is synchronized. And the second lesson I learned during that period is if the team if your goals and your team goals are not synchronized, you're not scaled. You hustle a
Yeah.
lot, but you can't scale out. So I learned that if you are the best hiring is that hiring if when the resource is synchronized with your thoughts. Technical skills and soft skills can be taught, but the mindset synchronization is very important. So I will start working and forming the 2B Tech in the for the Pakistani market as a private limited company. And back in 2021, I scaled that part, and I we formed an LLC as well to facilitate the global client age. On top of it, after that, I'll be after maybe you can say 1 year back in 2023. At the start of 2023, we formed the TF Business Solutions.
Awesome, awesome. That's pretty awesome. So, do tell me that for the Pakistani business, what's the major difference between Pakistani clientage and the global clientage, especially in terms of IT, because that's a very in terms of tech, that's a very interesting topic, I think, because Pakistanis take tech very differently, or is it the same?
No, they treat us very differently, not in terms of the monetary benefits, but in terms of the to finalize the scope of work. So there are, a huge difference you can say, just because we are not facilitating being a Pakistani to a Pakistani founder, but we will definitely, comfortable to work with someone who is, relying on us. So being working in a Pakistani market, you need to do the two things I must say. First of all is define the scope of work and define the expectations and outcomes. Because if you are not,
Uh-huh.
set up the expectations and you're not getting the set up the outcome. Let's say if someone is ready to buy a service, what exactly they get after that certain period, or maybe you can say you will say what exactly things you need to do before doing into the another job.
Yeah, yeah, that makes a lot of sense as well. So, Talha, do tell me that where do you think this industry is heading, especially after you have seen the Shark Tank, and I think the entrepreneurial and startup spirit is coming into life again in Pakistan. So, do you think that is going to be beneficial for us, or do you think that is going to grow, or this is just a fluke and that is going to die down in 2025?
No, exactly based on my, if you talk about my opinion, I must say, startups are, as I judged a few startups in the different universities as well, of the Lahore, let's say the Superior University, University of Lahore, and some other universities as well. So I must say the startups are now, in the incubation center, maybe those universities who are working and heavily invested in the startup space, they just refined their ideas very well. So the end user, maybe the startup founder, that are going to evaluate their business plan, their financial plan. So they know these jargons, but previously it was, just a bluff. If someone asks you what exactly your financial projection. So if I talk about in the current era that we have just recorded the broadcast, back in the last of 2024. So I must say the startups are now very matured. They know exactly what kind of things that the investor maybe wants, what kinds of things their customer want to do, to validate their idea, to test out their offerings. So that's why the startup space, I must say, will be grow exponentially in the 2025, inshallah.
Inshallah, inshallah. That's actually very positive to hear, because I come from the e-commerce industry, so a lot of people just replicate the product and just go with it. But I think in the tech industry we have a lot of talent, that there is idea generation there, that people are working a lot on. Based on the cities, Talha, where do you think is Lahore the main place for the tech, or Karachi or Islamabad? Like, which city have you seen that has a lot of potential, especially in Pakistan? Yeah.
Specifically for the Pakistani market, I must say the cities are equally good in terms of the work ethics, in terms of the all the processes. So there will be no race between the cities. But Lahore and because in the Karachi market, the resources are very much dedicated, and in terms of the Lahore side, we have huge talent opportunities. Let's say if someone needs job and want to crack an opportunity, they can simply come up to the Lahore market, because Lahore has very good size companies as well. If you talk about the Islamabad, Islamabad is actually good for equally good if someone wants to work with MNCs primarily, because many headquarters are based in Islamabad for the multinational organizations. But I must say there's no boundary geographical differences. But yes, I must say the Karachi resources are very good.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen that. I think Karachi is more in line with the international market. I'm not sure if it's true for tech, but yeah, I personally think that. So yeah, and Talha, if you have to do a job, which job will you prefer? Like right now, I know you are running two companies and you are hugely successful, but still, if there is a job that you have to do, which job will it be?
I would prefer the sales and branding side because I must
Oh,
say,
nice,
yeah, because whenever I consult any founder, or maybe I in my discovery session, because I am offering few discovery sessions as well, so that the prospect will know about
awesome.
our offering as well things, and many other things. But if we talk about the job side, I will do the SDR job, because because if we learn the sales from the very basic level, we can sell anything, any service,
Yeah,
any
yeah,
product. Sales are the core of any product. Maybe you can say any organization. If we sell any
yeah,
simple pen, maybe, and if we start selling a simple iPhone, so
yeah,
you need to learn the sales, because and there is another myth available in the market, that is introverts are not doing the sales part. But I must say introverts sell more efficiently, because they spoke the words that they have come up in their mind. They're not going to do the add some spicy words, some Swedish
yeah,
word
yeah.
that customer wants to listen. That's why I must say introverts are doing an amazing job in sales.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense as well. And especially if you know sales, you can, as you said, you can sell anything. And if you can sell anything, you can make a lot of money as well. But Talha, tell me, as a Pakistani, if you are a salesperson, where would you go? Like, which industry would you go for? Obviously, tech is one industry, but within, outside of tech, there are a lot of industries. So, which industry would you pick for the most amount of
I would
commissions or
prefer,
just
I would
most
prefer
amount of
the
money?
I would prefer the pharmaceutical industry, because my father is associated with pharmaceutical
Oh,
industry
awesome.
since last 35 years. So I
Oh,
learned a lot of this industry, and that's why we have, in the 2B Tech, our main focus is health tech as well. So I must say
awesome.
will start working in the pharmaceutical industry if I will start the job.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And tell me a little bit more about the pharmaceutical industry. I think, I remember there was this, it was called Big Data or Big Health. Like I don't remember the name. Like I think the most complicated software ever built was for a hospital, system. So yeah, health tech is a very big, big in tech as well. So your main focus is health. So, but I think it's a very sensitive thing as well. For if you are managing health tech, because each and every document is very important, and you have to be very careful around that. So yeah, how's your, like, what are the major learnings that you have learned from your father, and what are your major general learnings that you have learned from helping out the other tech companies and other health tech companies?
First of all, the empathy and customer support are very important. Empathy while talking with others, with your subordinates, with your boss, or with a
Yeah,
super that can clean up your washroom. Maybe you can say it's a very important thing, because if you start, talking with someone with an empathy, it will, you know, it, it will be your habit, and it will definitely help out to you while talking to your customer. And the
yeah,
second
makes
thing
sense.
is, and the second thing I must say is psychological decision making. Let's say if I want to do the X part, but I listened while conversation is the prospect, or maybe the some other person wants to listen more about the Y part, let's say. So I must say, I'm not changing myself to the Y. I must say I will do the X plus Y, because some part of the conversation that I want to speak is very important, plus some part of conversation that another person wants to speak listen is very important. That's why
Yeah,
the psychological decision making is very important skill, and I learned a lot in the before working in sales, and I, from my father as well.
yeah, that makes a lot of sense as well. And based on your, what advice would you give to the new graduates? Should which side they should be going on? Like for example, if somebody is graduating as a tech major, which part of industry should he be going on? Back in those days, financial tech was very big thing, and then pharmaceutical or big health was very big thing. And now but which side do you think is very good? Like I think AI is good, but within AI there are so many subcategories. So which will be very beneficial in next 5 years or next 10 years for the people who are just graduating now?
I'll be sharing the three things that are very booming, and I must say, if a fresh grad will definitely try to work in these areas. Number one is chatbot development. Within the AI is a chatbot development, so it's a very good industry that we can say we can develop a chatbot for maybe the restaurants, for the relators, and you can implement the use case based on the criteria. Maybe you can say, and the other thing is product design, because the world is now moving towards the accessibility. Let's say if someone with glasses and someone without glasses, or maybe someone with the low seeing capacity, can use your app maybe via some voice commands as well. That's why I must say the product design and is a very good industry and rapidly growing industry. The UI UX guy. And the last thing I must say is the sales again. It's a non-technical, but yes, if someone is doing graduation in the technical part, but they're not very good at the programming, but have some technical knowledge, so a technical business development is another thing, and the people
Yeah.
can hire it out. So the three industries I just mentioned is rapidly growing, and I must say that every individual who is just graduating must check out these industries.
Okay, Tala, I have another question as well, and that is payment gateways. Like for tech people, especially the people who are working with the global clientele, the payment gateways are a big problem. So how do you help other startups, or have you figured out a way that how do Pakistanis get their payment gateways sorted, because it is becoming an increasingly big problem right now.
Yeah, you can say Stripe and Payoneer is equally good for the Pakistani entrepreneurs, and we got some new players as well. Elevate is also a very good product for Pakistani. But if we got a
Yeah.
chance to with some, you can say foreigners, so PayPal and Stripe is good, but it's not for Pakistani market. We need to use some backdoor policies to to get these things.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense as well. So Talha, as you know that Dubai has their own ministry for AI, and they are working on automation and stuff like that very rapidly, and also they are very crypto friendly country as well. Do you think Pakistan should adopt some policies like that, or what policies should the government should adopt, especially on the tech side, to help us to help the entrepreneurs or to help the tech people flourish further in this tech era?
I must say this is very hot topic. I am just discussing out,
Yeah.
and that is the the internet blockage issue. So if we can just settle out this thing, maybe just simply this thing, the
Yeah.
Pakistani entrepreneurs can improve the you can say, and it will definitely help out the economy as well. So I must say currently now the internet is the main thing, and we should work on it as well.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Also, I think there should be a local, homegrown payment gateway for Pakistanis that can help us, get money from outside the world, because tech is a huge, export in Pakistan, especially in the subcontinent. So there should be a homegrown one that can help us, sort out the USDs or euros that we are getting, and get them in the bank. And also another problem that I have, like personally being a remotely employed person, is that banks don't recognize us. Like even if they do, they don't. Like they are like घर से बैठ के कौन सा काम होता है. So that is increasingly big problem, especially when I think mostly grads, especially who graduated in COVID era, are remote workers. So now it's a huge increasingly big problem that people are working from homes, but they are not able to get credit cards, or they are not able to other things. So how should we mitigate that? Or how should I think the banks should take care of this.
Somehow this problem is solved, because many banks just introduced the Asan account policy. So if you
Uh-huh.
talk about, somehow this problem is solved, but yes, say again, the bank is not currently, well aware about the e-commerce, about the technology. If we
Yeah.
say, if we are going to open that, the company account as well, so the policies are not the tech friendly, you can say,
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
I have a friend who is working from a co-working space. I'm also working from a co-working space, you can say. But
Awesome.
I have a friend, so the bank just asked us to, display the board. So they said them to them that we can't display the board while having, the co-working board. So this is the huge, you can say, the gap between for the knowledge. So this should be, the banks should definitely work on it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I was thinking maybe Sada Pay or Naya Pay or Ali Pay can resolve it by introducing something for that. But another the problem again is that you cannot the more digital it gets, it becomes very harder to track the people or stuff like that. But again, in Dubai, they have very easy stuff that you can order from your home, and even the bank account gets opened through your home, and then checkbooks arrive at your home, and then you can apply for certain loans from your home, and you get them approved, and the money is submitted into your account. But in Pakistan, the things are moving at very slow snail's pace. So yeah, hopefully they will be able to figure it out. The reason I say it, because increasingly more and more people are working remotely, and this is becoming a huge chunk of population that they are leaving out. Obviously, people are working government jobs, and people are working in private jobs with offices, but still a lot of people, especially in my area, or in my circle of friends, are working from home, and they are unable to get for example car loans and home loans and stuff like that. They are not able to get them approved because they are working from co-working spaces or stuff like that. So yeah, hopefully someday somewhere they will listen to us.
And the major thing is internet.
Yeah.
The major
Yeah,
thing is
internet
internet, because
blockage was, yeah. I am in Islamabad, and it has been a very big problem, especially up until yesterday. I couldn't get signals on my phone when I was driving, outside of the house. So you had to connect to a Wi-Fi to get signal. So it felt pretty much like 2005, 2006 era, where you would leave your home, and then you would not have any access to internet, and then you would get. And it was the first time in many years that I had to ring bells because of the houses, because now I can't call anyone because their phone is on like their phone is not connected to the Wi-Fi. So I had to ring the bell and get them out. So that was a pretty interesting nostalgic vibe.
exactly.
So tell me, if there is an emerging tech
Exactly.
country, like is there any country that is emerging in tech? For example, I think there are some like Brazil is emerging in tech. I think I'm not so sure, but there are some small countries that are exporting huge tech. So yeah, what do you think about it? And how can we uh, be faster than them, or how as a Pakistani we can be better than them?
Because yes, Brazil is very good, and I've been doing this research 2 to 3 days ago to discuss with my team as well while we are targeting the the customers. So yeah, Singaporean market is very good. Singapore is a very good
Oh.
market in technology. Yeah, Singapore is a very good market. Indonesia is a very good market.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you can say, if you can target the European side. So the Germany is a very good market. Portugal is a very good market. Saudi is a very good market. So yeah, Saudi is doing a massive great job in the while in utilizing their technical exports.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, especially for the Singapore. Singapore is a very amazing, country because it's a very small country, but it has, such a good GDP and, stuff that you are. And also there are, like, I think all the headquarters are there, like besides Dubai, all the headquarters, near to us are in Singapore. So yeah, that is a pretty interesting and very emerging market as well. And Indonesia is interesting. I did never thought of Indonesia as a, tech country, but I'll explore it. Yeah,
You can
sounds
explore it
very
out.
good.
Maybe you can find some great insights regarding it.
Oh, sure, sure, sure. I will do that. So, Talha, this was our time for now. Like we try to, wrap this up in under 30 minutes. So, Talha, do you have any closing remarks or any advice that you would like to give us to, our listeners?
I must say, if our listeners are from the, from the agencies owners, if your listeners are from the agency owners, I must say, do work on your B2B sales side, and never rely on a single platform, on a single market. And if the students are listening to us, do work on your, you can say, soft skills as well, other than the technical design or marketing skills. Do work on your soft skills, because if you want to start the conversation with anyone, your soft skill matters a lot. And if your listeners are from the, you can say, the parents, so I must say, Assalamu alaikum.
That was a really good one. Okay, Talha, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Have a great day, Zuriya. Thank you so much for inviting.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Thank you.